Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Illusion of Gaia. In the last part we had a lot of blech plot and now we're going to continue on. At any rate, let's go to Freejia. I'm going to go thank the dog. Come back when you're ready. And that is actually completely incorrect. We actually, to leave the area, have to go to talk to her outside. But before doing that, inspect this pot to the right to get a red jewel. This dog's name is Turbo. Isn't he cute? Well, let's go. Maybe we'll see a lyric? What? Oh, my speech can be really weird. Anyway, welcome to Freejia, where apparently the frame rate goes to crap. I'm noticing a lot of frame rate problems on my editor recently. I'm hoping you guys aren't seeing that. Oh, it's nice! What a great city! People who live in such a pretty place must have beautiful hearts. Yeah, right. No, not yet. We're looking for someone. And now Kara just got suckered into staying in a hotel. Fantastic. I probably have to pay that too, even though there is actually no currency in the game, Dark Gems being the closest thing to it. This is the hotel. Let's go in. Alright. What the? Lily? Come in. Will and Kara. Lily? Is it Lily? Who else do you know who has blue hair? Don't answer that. I was worried. It's almost been a month since we separated. I've been working and living in this hotel. Lance is in the room on the right. Go in there. Alrighty. But before doing that, let's do some stuff in town. First off, on this room over here on the right, you can get a red jewel in this pot. And then my editor stops working for... Okay, it's start. Camtasia was about to crash on me, I had a feeling. That scared me. Anyway, this is a bit tricky. Go right here, you can actually jump off into the rails. And in doing so, there's this druid-looking guy over here, and talking to him will net you a red jewel. And they don't even tell you what he does until you check. He just gives you a red jewel, that's it. And then you jump off here. After that, let's head on to the west side of the city. By the way, you can go into all these houses and talk to the NPCs, but it's kind of pointless to do that, because nothing really happens. Investigate this overturned trash can for an HP jewel. That raises your HP by 1 point. And some herbs. You got a dark space gateway in here if you need it. I always go into them anyway, just so I can get a heal. Anyway, this guy right here is actually a pretty funny NPC. He can breathe fire and somehow set his hair on fire. Great job there, buddy. I don't know why that's there. Talking to this guy, apparently we can't go past this, but he's clearly the smartest individual of all time. Why? Because we can jump behind him and he will never notice. I'm not actually sure what what happens when you talk to him from the other side, but probably something happens. And we got a slave trade market! So, God, that's dark. This game has a habit of getting really dark all of a sudden for some reason. And apparently, these guys are from Asia, and pretty much they have no choice but to be laborers. But this guy on the right here is Sam. He's the one who wrote the letter we found on the raft last part. And apparently, Eric tried to rescue them the previous night, but he got kidnapped and is in a house in the corner of town. You need to do that before rescuing Eric, because doing so is required for the plot, I believe. So I think if you go to Lance and such in the room, they say, hey, where's Eric? Anyway, we got actually a hidden laborer who's hiding right here, because apparently he escaped. Earlier in the part, you may have noticed two druid-like guys, rather, just standing in the alleyway back there. Talk to them, and once we get to them... Apparently, they're looking for that laborer. Tell them where they are, and as terrible as this is, we turn him in, probably to work for the rest of his life in labor, for 3 red jewels. Worth it! Oh god, we're terrible people. I wonder how many people miss out on those red jewels, actually. Probably quite a few. Anyway, this house here isn't host to much. All that you really want to do is head all the way to the roof. Head right. And this is Jeweler Jim. Let's give him more red jewels. And we now have 14. Since we collected over 12, our attack strength got raised by 1. So anyway, now let's go and see if we can find Will. Will. I wonder where I am. Eric. You might notice this guy is doing that, and apparently, as Will asks, Eric's in here. I'm not sure what happens if you investigate this first, but apparently, our flute is magic because it causes things made of wood to burst into flames. There's Eric. Impossible! You've come to rescue me? I didn't think you would break down the door. The man ran away scared. Where did he run away to? There's no way to get out. Well, I guess he got out through the windows. But he tried to sneak into them to rescue those 3, was discovered, and was forced to work. And there are laborers being forced to work in a diamond mine. He's telling us where that mine is, so we can go and rescue them. And that's our next dungeon. Thankfully, much shorter than the Incan ruins. Though we've yet to get to the really long dungeons. I fear how long the last one's gonna be. Ugh. Why am I just walking into the wall? There we go. Let's head on over to that diamond mine. And welcome to the diamond mine. The diamond mine was as quiet as a tomb. A chill down around my spine when I heard the screams coming from the back of the cave. And he means that, but I'll get into that a bit later. Anyway, there's quite a few new enemies in here. First off, we got the lizard men, which are rather simple. Just attack them 3 times, they should die. You got the earth landworms, which usually go down in 2 shots, which makes me fear that I may have missed an attack upgrade in the previous dungeon. I'm gonna go and check in between this part and next, via my save states that I do at the end of every session. And that's not all. That's actually most of the enemies that are in this area that are at least new. There's one other, which is a floating eye, which downright is a floating eye that shoots lasers. Okay. And for beating every enemy in that room, we got an HP increase. Now there's that grate there, but you can't do anything about that yet. So we'll be there later. And up here we got a lizardman and a laborer. Talk to the laborer, and he tells us that there are 8 of them in the entire dungeon, and rescuing them is our big priority. And doing that can get you some good rewards, I believe, and plus, obviously, it's plot important. How eyes are shooting lasers, I have no idea. But destroying that landworm will cause that fence to get blown up, I suppose, and allow us to reach those 2 floating eyes. This is me forgetting where to go momentarily, then remembering. Got more floating eyes here, nothing too big, but before heading south even further, I do recommend going after that lizard man with a slave, but be careful because there are landworms that might blindside you. I call these enemies these names, by the way, but I'm not sure if they actually have official names. I know the bosses do, but I'm not sure about the actual enemies. By the way, I can't say it enough, but I love this game's soundtrack. This song pretty much plays in every dungeon, but I don't care. I love this song. I think it plays in almost every dungeon, does it? Pretty much. And in here you got an herb, so yeah. There are 4 switches surrounding this little rock here, and you're gonna want to hit them all, by the way, because, well, progression. There will be some enemies along the way, mostly just lizards and such, and hitting all 4 will open that little wooden passage in the middle there, though I don't notice that at first. And beating all the enemies in this room gets us a strength upgrade. And I don't notice it until right about now. Anyway, in this room we got a lot more lizards. And be prepared for that, by the way, because a lot of dungeons have... Well, I will give this game credit that most of the time enemies are exclusive to one dungeon. Most of the time. But, I'm just gonna say, be prepared to see these guys later on in the game in a somewhat optional area, if you catch my drift. Now, the way forward is down that cave, but we want to come over here first because there's stuff we can do. By the way, what I just did there is if you actually move around when you're doing the swing of your flute, you actually will continue that swing in the other directions. Before moving on, you gotta notice, well, first off, just pretty much Psycho Dash into there. You find this hidden laborer, and he sends 3 red jewels to Gem. So yeah, that's pretty damn decent, actually. Anyway, I opened up a dark space gateway over here, and this is one that contains a Freejia statue. So, let's turn into him. After refilling our HP, let's continue onwards. And this room, we gotta notice those ropes on the upper levels. Don't worry about those yet. Those might come into play later. This room is more floating eyes and lizard men. Thankfully, much easier with Freejia due to his increased power and range. And they're down pretty easily. After defeating all the enemies, make sure you run down these ramps, because otherwise you will not progress. Got a landworm right there, and right here you can actually either go down that ramp or just go down these stairs. It doesn't matter which, because you won't be going much of a distance anyway. Oh, and I forget who mentioned it earlier, but in areas where you can use a Psycho Dash, more often that will be indicated by the fact that if you stand in front of them, Will's hair will blow. The exact same thing will happen with Freejia, it's just that Freejia doesn't have a way to destroy those walls. And I don't think he ever gets one either. These floating eyes, for some reason, are unique like the statues back in the Incan ruins, where they are proximity activated, for some reason. And this is often... You actually don't have to kill every enemy, you just have to kill the specific one that causes the little blue balls of awesomeness to come out. That made sense, shut up. So, you only have to kill those ones, but obviously if you're going for all the upgrades, you're going to want to do it the way I'm doing it. Killing every enemy in this room gets you an HP power-up, which is always helpful. And then Dark Space. I do like the way that gateway looks, by the way. It reminds me a lot of ActRaiser for some reason, though. That's another really good Enix game. You're gonna want to turn to Will here because there's a wall we need to Psycho Dash. And that wall is right here. Anyway, we got another Dark Space Gateway here. That's really odd, isn't it? What's in there? Well, you're going to have to find out next time. Thank you guys for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And next time on Let's Play Illusion of Gaia, I almost forgot the name of the game there, we're going to continue on in this place, see what's in that Dark Space Gateway, and see if we can rescue everyone here in the mines. See you guys then.